Hey everyone, Freakin here. I like that it calls me freaking, that's pretty funny. Doing a video here showing off the start of my Powder Keg Barbarian, which is using a skill that only barbarians can really use effectively. So you can get this through you can get it through one Sacred Unique, the Alchemist Apron, for everyone. It's just on like I think it's a scale mail. But to really take advantage of this, you need to get more skill levels to it. And the Barbarian has a rune word that gives them a huge boost to it. This can go up to plus 26 to Powder Keg. And there's a Cabraxis rune word for this that goes even higher. I think it goes to 32, maybe 34. And so, from what I can tell, if you want to play a Powder Keg based character, Barbarian's pretty much the only option you have. And so gear-wise, this character is only level 88. They're not an in-game yet. So gear-wise, I'm using the staff, the Magister. I used this to get to this point. I switched over to being a caster before I got the Guy Fawkes rune word, which may have been a mistake. I think you probably could get to it faster if you just kept playing as like a Iron Spiral or Death Gaze Barbarian or whatever your preference of normal Barbarian build is to get this far. I did Death Gaze myself. But I switched over originally at level like 30 to using this. That was a huge mistake. Don't do that. You do not have the mana to cast Supernova enough at the level you can put this on being a Barbarian. It's just not possible. But when I was able to get this staff, which took a bit of farming to pull off, once it was tier 3, it felt good. And at tier 4, it still feels pretty good. With Apocalypse for fighting groups and Flash for fighting close-up enemies. And it continues to be useful. I mean, plus 6 to all skills, and it has a boost to fire spell damage is nice. There's definitely better things that can go in this slot once you hit level 100, and possibly before, but as a good straightforward just plus to all skills and fire spell damage staff, this is a really good starting piece. For body armor starting out, I don't think you really can beat Dragon's Blood. It has cast speed, it's got fire spell damage, it's got decent defense, it's got a little bit of vitality. The life on Demon Kill is nice, but it's rare that's really going to have any effect for you. For belt, I really think Aaron Orbiter is the only real option here. And because of the fact that it has cast speed, fire spell damage, it's got a little bit of energy, it's got some resist, it's got flat elemental / magic damage reduction, which is nice. For boots, I'm using Wake of Destruction. For the bonus to energy factor, the fire spell damage, more energy, its requirements are low. I probably could bump this up to tier 4. I'm not 100% sure I can at the moment, but I might be able to. And then for gloves, I'm just using Vile Hand because it's +1 to skills, and it's what I found. I think what you probably want to do is an honorific gloves for the leveling process if you have enough gold for it. Otherwise, something like this is fine until you reach the point where you can craft stuff, or something with good resists on it, or defense, something more defensive in nature. And then for amulet and rings, I mean, I'm wearing complete garbage stuff at this point because it's what I've got. I haven't found anything better, and you can't really target specific rings and amulets. What you'd really want is anything with lots of skills. You'd want a +3, preferably +4 amulet, to skills amulet with some fire damage. For rings, it'd be +1 to skills with some fire spell damage, and then whatever resists and defenses you need on them that you can get. Then for skills, this is the part that's a little more complicated because you have very few skills that are appropriate as a caster on a Barbarian. And so I've only got points in 4 skills really right now. It's going to change once I hit 90. But for now, the only things I'm really putting points into are Ancient Blood for the max life and the increase to maximum skill levels. Spirit Guide for the bonus defense and cast speed when you have a spirit or wolf near you. And so I've been having I've just been keeping the Wolf Companion out specifically for this buff. I'm not using it for anything else. Mountain King for the percent to all attributes. It gets pretty big as you level up. I didn't realize it got this high already at just such a low level. And then Eagle Stance is one of the only stances that actually matters as a caster. Bear Stance is still useful, but this gives you so much mana regen, and the life regen is really nice as well. And so I've been focusing on this. I'll probably eventually switch to Bear Stance, since I'm sure I'll be able to get enough mana regen elsewhere to keep casting without this later on. But for the leveling process, being a caster, this is really helpful. Without it, I run out of mana incredibly quick. When I can, at 90, I'm going to be taking Rune Master, because I think it's the only one that really matters. I mean, you theoretically could do Gladiator's Dominance for the block chance, but you don't have to be putting points into Dexterity, so your block chance is going to be terrible. And I don't think Nephilim Spirit adds on to spells. I could be wrong on that. If it does, you want this instead if you can. But for now, as far as I can tell, this is the only one that's going to be effective. And then as many points as you can into Immortal for that chance to avoid and hit rate recovery. So yeah, that's how this character's been progressing gear-wise. But in action, I'll first show off Apocalypse, just to show you what I've been using for leveling. Not leveling, but to get to this point. I mean, it's just like Diablo 1 Apocalypse. You just cast it and everything nearby catches on fire. And you could still use this at this point. It's still powerful enough. Oh! Of course, it helps if you don't die. I recommend you don't do that part. Oh, man. Let's try that again. But in general, you can do this. I'm not sure why the Living Flames hit me so hard there. Usually, I am fine, but it happens. But for the actual skill, Powder Keg, it's not as quick as Apocalypse, because it's exactly the same skill that the enemies in Duncraig are using. But it hits really damn hard for single target. Which you wouldn't think it would, but it seems to be if you get the barrels directly on a target, it hits multiple times. And so, well, it's not that great for like a single enemy. It's kind of pointless because of how long it takes. And that is an inherent disadvantage to this build, is you have that delay on when it actually triggers when you cast things. But as you can see, it just obliterates things. I mean, I killed Nightmare Duriel incredibly fast, considering how this build has felt up to this point. And I know that there's lots of other builds that are faster and stronger at this point in the game, but the fact that this is viable already with only one of the things that gives plus to Powder Keg and just some basic tiered unique caster gear, I think it's pretty cool. And so I'm looking forward to pushing it further. Once I hit level 100, I've got some gear saved up for it that's going to give it a massive level boost. It's going to go up to at least probably around skill level 55. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, this is kind of like a progress report, I guess. Progress report 1 of how Guy Fawkes, the Powder Keg Barbarian, is going. When it comes to mercenaries, you probably can use whoever you want. I've been using Blood Mage. I think it's Blood Mage. Act 3 mercenary, just because I haven't played around with him much, and he needs way better gear. He's just complete garbage on him at the moment. Just some random rares I've picked up and tossed on him. But yeah, that's what I've been doing involving this, and hopefully he will continue to become stronger. I'm hoping to get him to end game by the end of the week, and hopefully be doing some Duncraig and getting myself completely destroyed because I won't be able to tell their barrels apart from mine. Yeah, this is Freykin. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.